Yeah.
Okay. Where are we?
4 o'clock on Monday.
Okay.
Yes, we are.
All right. The Municipal Planning Commission for January the 11th will now come to order. I just waited until you were all the way in the back there, Lacey, before I hollered that.
No. Oh,
You sit up
I
there.
didn't think you were coming.
I took your
Interesting.
You can
Okay, that's fine.
sit in my normal chair.
Yeah.
Will you call the roll, please?
Mayor Starr.
Here.
Mr. Sawyers.
Here.
Mrs. Ellsworth.
Here.
Mr. Hawkins. Mr. Swallow.
Here.
Mr. Deal.
Here.
Mr. West. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Just as a matter of procedure, one of the things that I always do at the beginning of the meeting is just to remind everybody here today, the purpose of the Municipal Planning Commission is to balance the public good with the private property rights and interests. Also, the Commission carries out all other powers and duties conferred upon it by the City of Mount Vernon zoning ordinance or other city ordinances and the laws of the State of Ohio. This is a public meeting, and there are rules of decorum we follow. We're committed to the democratic process, individual rights of expression, robust debate, and tolerance of different viewpoints. The following general rules of civility are expected, including addressing others in a respectful manner, no insulting, personal attacks, intimidating, or offensive communications, no harassment, no willful destruction or damage of property, and no disruptive behavior. Please silence your cell phones and all other electronic devices and refrain from private conversations during the meeting. If you do need to come and go, you can do so please do so in the least disruptive manner possible. If you are offering public comment today, you must first be sworn in by reading the statement at the lectern up there, and your comments will be kept to 4 minutes except for the person that's presenting the project. Again, the purpose of this commission is to oversee that the law is followed and planning concurs with which the spirit of those laws and regulations have been adopted by the City of Mount Vernon and the State of Ohio. So, with that, we have the meeting minutes from December 14th that were provided in your packets. Are there any additions or corrections? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the meeting minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstentions? They are approved. Okay. We have four.
Two.
Oh, I'm sorry, two. Yes,
I know
two.
it appears like four. but
It looks like
it's
four.
just
Yeah,
two.
sorry.
Yeah.
We have two items on today's business. Mrs. Blankenhorn, will you please read the item by title, and we'll get going from there.
So for the first case, Ms. Abbott is held up at another appointment, so I'm going to flip-flop and do case number 2
Okay.
first. So 2024 MPC 02, a petition to vacate an alley adjacent to East High Street between Potwin Street and South Catherine Street.
Okay. Is there anyone who is speaking on behalf of this project here? Would you come on up, please, and state your name, and we'll have you read that statement.
Oh. Nope.
Mary Collins.
I
And,
didn't put it up there.
oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
Down here?
There we go.
Okay. My name is Mary Therese Collins, and my address is 610 East High Street. I affirm that my testimony is truthful to the best of my knowledge and ability, so help me God, or under penalty of perjury.
Welcome.
Do you need that?
No, we're good. Thank you. Okay.
Put that back there for her.
The floor is yours.
I'm just looking to vacate the alley. It's vacated on the other half of the block, and there's the open alley there halfway through between High and Vine Street. There's no place for anybody to go on either side of it, and I'd just like to vacate it, split it with the neighbor, and get that. I want to get work done around my property, and some places are off, so I can't get around to my property. So I just like half of the alley there.
Okay. On the screen, either behind you or beside you, can you just point where everything is?
This is my property. That's High Street. This is Vine Street, and there's no alley on the other side, either side of them. It's just
Okay.
dead ends into the street. My property has the neighbor's fence here and here, so I can't reach this side of my garage. And if we split it, I could get in and get something done there and get to my garage. I had windows I had to repair this last year, and I had to go around his property and into his backyard to get to my garage. And then when I had it taken care of in the spring, the person doing it came to the back, and he took a ladder and went from there to there and back over to get
Okay.
the work done. And it's just basically opening it up so I can get to my property all the way around.
So
Okay.
there's a fence there right now?
He has a fence, this is my garage, and the fence is right there to here, which is the other side of the end of the alley.
So it's
It
actually,
is not attached to my garage, it's about this far from my garage.
but it's actually, is it in the alley then, the
Yes.
fence?
No, it's on my property, and it's not my fence. There's about almost a foot maybe between my property and where the alley begins. So everything a foot along here is still mine. And then this is, it doesn't look like it on here, but this is the alley. There's about 12 inches between the alley line and my property.
Yeah, but the neighbor has put their fence on a city alley?
Well, I don't think this neighbor did it. There's one on the outside that I think he put up, but there was a wire one there before that. And he just put on the other side of the wire one. I wasn't there when it was done, but it's there now. So
Does the
yes,
neighbor-
that's the neighbor's fence, and so is this the neighbor's fence.
Does the neighbor understand that it's on city property right now?
I haven't gone there with him.
Okay, all right.
And this is also his building. He put in, and originally this building was straight directly behind his garage. And there's a slant there, and over a period of about 7 to 8 months, it just gradually worked its way down. I think he and his father moved it down. So it's about 12 inches from my garage, so it does cover the whole alley.
So when you, I'm just sort of talking through the logistics here, because when the police get called when you move to knock down his building, because it's on your property, the police will be called. Is that your plan here?
No, I would ask him to move it,
Okay.
but I would hope he would.
I spoke with Ms. Collins before the meeting about this, and I said the city could send correspondence with the neighbor because his building appears to be on city property at this point. And
It is on
needs
city
It
property.
needs to be moved.
Probably.
The
a good
one
idea.
appears to be permanent, but the other one is a new one.
Do they have
There's
a
a little,
permit for it?
I don't know. I just found out right before the meeting about this.
Is Greg still here?
No.
Okay. We get what you want to do. You want the
Okay.
alley vacated. Any questions for Mrs. Collins? Okay. Is there anybody else who wishes to speak on behalf of this project? Anybody who wishes to speak against this project? Anybody who wishes to speak in general about this project? Okay. Mrs. Blankenhorn, did you receive any communications about this through phone, email, whatever? You said
I did not.
you did not. Okay. Mr. Ball, are there any engineering concerns?
No, we don't. We don't have any utilities. The alley doesn't go anywhere. So in this rare case, I do support this action.
Thank you. Okay. Shade Tree does not need to be consulted on this project. So, Mr. Boren, where do we begin?
It's on the agenda. 10 feet. Oh, wait, I'm on the other one. Just a minute. Let me get
Yeah, I was curious how wide it is. Might help Rob with his deliberations.
Well,
6 feet.
So I guess so from an engineering side, here's a question. Is part of this already been, I mean, you can't, 6 feet is not a standard alley. So is part of this already been vacated?
no, I think I live a block and a half down from where this is, and I know exactly. I know where it is because I always sort of thought it was a driveway for one of the houses. And that's why I thought it was so narrow. So it never struck me as an alley. It once again I am concerned that once again we have found someone building here in the city very clearly, even if they had a permit, which I suspect they don't. I am concerned
It's
that-
not a permanent building, it sits on the slab.
doesn't have, yeah, well, that's a,
It sits on slabs.
yeah,
Okay.
that's still, you still need a permit for that.
Okay.
And so, once again, we've found someone building here in the city and once again, even on city property, which is particularly problematic, not so much for the alley vacation, but for the normal, of government. We were just discussing issues like this. So I don't have concerns about that. I do think that we need to send the owner something forthwith to tell them that they need to move it. Anything for them?
Not since we've gone electronic with our permits.
And that's 3 years?
2.5.
2.5.
years, yeah.
So the building was built, what, the last year and a half, you said?
No, I think it's been on there longer than that.
Okay. Well, all right.
Okay.
Well,
Do we have a feel if if this lot is split 3 feet each, the building, where would it sit?
it's on her property.
The building's probably about this far from my garage.
Okay, so about a foot.
So it's at least a foot, maybe a foot and a half.
The auditor's site shows a backyard shed installed in 2009. And then the garage from 1915.
Definitely not in the electronic system.
No.
Check in there. All right.
Okay, so who will send this communication to the property owner?
Well,
He's waving his hand over
Oh, that would be you. Okay.
so the question is, does it make sense to have, I mean, what are the steps in this process? If this is moved to be vacated, it also has to go to city council?
So a recommendation would come from this commission to city council whether or not to approve this request for vacation. So they're essentially making the recommendation to council, and then council receives that recommendation. Legislation is introduced, a public hearing is scheduled, and then it goes through their
So-
legislative process.
So it's going to have a bit of time, so it'll still be our property, so
So things could happen in parallel.
yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Question.
But as far as the matter before the commission vacating the alley, we see no issues with that.
No.
Okay. Then is there, well, the commission will entertain a motion then to accept the vacation of this alley.
So moved.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, now it's on the table, we can discuss.
Can I vote right now?
Yeah.
Well, I know that Eric's up here.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, but Todd is on.
Todd's not.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. You're
glad to be here.
Yeah.
Okay, wanted to confirm.
Okay, it's open for discussion. Discussion on the matter.
Just for the record, Councilman Miller reached out about this particular piece of property and wanted to know if the fire chief or the police chief had any issue with vacating this. Just wanted to know if there would be any services or whatnot. And I did my due diligence and reached out to both of the chiefs, and they're okay with it. So,
Thank you.
for the
We
record.
could get a fire engine down that alley.
Well, that was my set. My comment back was, save your public records requests. If you want to drive a fire truck through a guy's shed, then then okay. But all right,
Okay,
maybe Mrs. Collins would like to do that. I don't know.
we'll even let you turn the lights and
Yeah,
siren
there you
on,
go.
okay?
What fun! Just invite us there when you do it.
I'll pass.
Any other discussion? Mrs. Blankenhorn, please call the roll.
So our motion was to recommend approval to council?
Yes.
Mayor Starr?
Yes.
Mr. Sawyers?
Yes.
Mrs. Ellsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Swallow?
Yes.
Mr. Deal?
Yes.
Okay. we will forward the recommendation to council. Thank you. Next up, we have item, oh, they're past it. Okay, Mrs. Blankenhorn, go ahead.
2024 MPC 01, a petition to vacate an alley adjacent to Potwin Street between Oak Street and East Gambier Street.
Okay. Becca, do you want to come up and swear in and talk about the project you want?
I have to swear in.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, it's official.
My neighbor, Gordon Loveland, is here too.
Okay, well, when you get, we'll give you a chance to talk to you if you want.
Okay.
There is, if you will identify yourself where you live, and there's a statement
okay.
there.
My name is Rebecca Abbott. My address is 100 Oak Street, Mount Vernon. I affirm that my testimony is truthful to the best of my knowledge and ability, so help me God, or under penalty of perjury.
The floor is yours.
Okay. Gordon and I would like the alley to be vacated. I think we probably have slightly different reasons for it. Mine is that a couple years ago I hired an organic landscaper. He tries to work with making people's gardens all native Ohio plants. Very, very good for the environment, for the birds and bees locally here. And he pointed out that water is currently draining towards the foundation of my garage, and pointed out that there are certain parts of the foundation that are a little uneasy. He wanted to put in a drainage ditch somewhere, and I'm being very vague here because I don't understand everything that he wanted to do. I just don't.
It's okay.
Okay, thank you. He did a really nice job at the front of my house. That's just beautiful now, and diverted water away from the front of the house and towards the street, and made a rain garden with all native Ohio plants. So my understanding is he wanted to do something similar. I'd like to develop the garden there anyway, and I found out that this was actually a city alley. So I told him, hold off, hold off. I didn't know at first it was a city alley because it doesn't go anywhere. There's a fence right, there's the, how do I point out where the fence is? There's a big fence right here. So the alley just stops right between my garage and Gordon's garage. So it doesn't seem like the city needs that area, and I would love to go ahead and get that water diverted away from the garage and make a nice garden.
Any other questions for Ms. Abbott? Okay, well, why
Okay.
don't you sit tight with
Thank
us? Is anybody else, would you like to speak on behalf of this project, or? You get to swear in and everything.
I mean, he volunteered to present if Ms. Abbott didn't get here on time, so.
My name is Gordon Loveland. My address is 521 East Gambier Street in Mount Vernon. I affirm that my testimony is truthful to the best of my knowledge and ability, so help me God, or under penalty of perjury.
Welcome.
Thank you. I have no great reason, like Rebecca does, for vacating that land, although it's an unused alleyway. I believe we also found out that it's not needed by city services or the electric company to get to poles or anything like that. And since we both share that land right now in terms of upkeep and things like that, vacating it just allows us to split it between the two properties and makes more sense property-wise. So that's it for me.
Any questions for Gordon? Thank you.
Thank you.
Procedurally, I have to ask, does anybody else wish to speak on behalf of this project? Against this project? In general for this project? Okay. Hearing none. Mrs. Blankenhorn, were there any communications received in email or phone about this?
There were not, but I will point out if this does get vacated, it might bring their garages closer into conformance on their side setback.
Thank you for that. That's one other benefit.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Ball, any concerns with utilities?
No concerns. Yeah, this doesn't go anywhere. We've reconstructed most of the utilities in Potwin Street. Don't need this. Won't need it.
Thank you. Mr. Braun, do you see any legal matters with this?
No.
Okay, I assume Shade Tree doesn't have to be involved in this one at all as well, so this is also a recommendation to City Council that we are making. And so with that, the chair will entertain a motion to recommend vacation of the alley to City Council.
I'd make that motion, sir, that we vacate a 10 by 42 foot platted undeveloped alley adjacent to Potwin Street between Oak Street and East Gambier Street.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, it's on the table. Any discussion?
I would encourage Mrs. Abbott to consider joining the Bee City Committee. All right. That's through the Shade Tree and Beautification Committee.
Yeah. As typically, I think we typically don't vacate alleys because utilities, but these are like two really rare exceptions that fit that
They're
and
stumps.
can help clean up some neighborhood issues for you all and that. So anyway, any other discussion? Will you call the roll, please?
Mayor Starr.
Yes.
Mr. Sawyers.
Yes.
Mrs. Ellsworth.
Yes.
Mr. Swallow.
Yes.
Mr. Deal.
Yes.
Okay. That recommendation will go forward to City Council. Is there any other business we need to address?
I have nothing.
Okay. Well, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved in second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I got your invitation to the safety committee.
Oh, if all meetings.
I didn't realize.
I like coming to meetings like this.
Yeah.
My neighborhood.